One of the most important institutions controlling Nazi Germany was called the Ahnenerbe, the Ancestral Heritage Research and Teaching Society, which was led by Heinrich Himmler until the end of the war. This powerful agency would reorganize all fields of science with a focus on anthropology, geology, agronomy, and archaeology around a pagan, Nazi-approved filter. Reichsführer Heinrich Himmler interfaced closely with Adolf Eichmann, chief minister responsible for Jewish affairs that oversaw the creation of the ghetto system in Nazi Germany. As part of the final solution to eliminate the Untermenschen Jews from Europe, Eichmann, a Kabbalistic practicing Nazi, also led in the crafting of the Havara Agreement in 1933. This important agreement was made between the Nazis and the British Empire, then in control of British Mandate Palestine, establishing Nazi support for the transfer of Jews to Palestine in preparation for the creation of a Jewish state. The 1933 commemorative coin minted by Nazi Germany celebrated that agreement and featured the conspicuous symbols of the swastika and the Star of David together. The Jewish Virtual Library notes that
the Ha'avara transfer was a major factor in making possible the immigration of approximately 60,000 German Jews to Palestine in the years 1933 through 1939, and together with the money invested by the immigrants themselves in providing an incentive for the expansion of agricultural settlement and for general economic development. It also served as a model for a similar arrangement with the Czech government and the immigration of several thousand Jews on the eve of World War II.
The German-British seeds of the Havara Agreement had been planted much earlier. It was in 1861 that the world saw the founding of the German New Templar Society, an esoteric society devoted to colonizing Palestine in order to usher in an apocalyptic reset of humanity. And it was in 1862 that the British Empire, under the leadership of Prince Edward Albert, then the head of World Freemasonry, would create the Palestinian Exploration Fund, which set the stage for the creation of Sykes-Picot, the Balfour Agreements, and officially the State of Israel. The German New Temple Society that colonized Palestine was founded by Christoph Hoffmann and George David Hardegg, with the explicit aim of rebuilding Solomon's Temple and ushering in Armageddon in order to fulfill biblical prophecy. Just like the earlier Templar order that oversaw the holy wars known as the Crusades and the Kingdom of Jerusalem during the medieval ages, the German New Templars were also committed to reconstructing Solomon's Temple and believed that this would be necessary to usher in the end times. Before his execution, Life magazine interviewed Adolf Eichmann, who had learned Hebrew in order to study the Kabbalah, about his relationship with Zionism. Eichmann stated,
"Had I been a Jew, I would have been a fanatical Zionist. I could not imagine being anything else. In fact, I would have been the most ardent Zionist imaginable."
Strange words coming from a leading Nazi, but when situated within the context of the Havara Agreement and the creation of the State of Israel, this paradox slowly begins to be resolved. Hitler's simultaneous alliance with the Grand Mufti Haj Amin, a Muslim Brotherhood asset of the British Empire, installed as Grand Mufti of Jerusalem in 1921, is not contradictory to his pro-Zionist policy outlined by the Havara Agreement. In fact, the obsessive demands of Haj Amin to kill all the Jews and the fascist-admiring networks of Vladimir Jabotinsky's Irgun fanatics obsessed with destroying Arabs living in the vast region of Greater Israel were all part of the same formula of geopolitical control of chaos within a strategically important area of the globe where all the major civilizations intersected. This was not an unexpected consequence of good intentions gone awry, but when you consider the strategic vision of those architects of the Balfour Accords, such as Alfred Milner, Lord Arthur Balfour, Lloyd George, and Walter Rothschild, one is struck by the fact that except for Walter Rothschild, none of the architects of the State of Israel are Jews. And except for Walter Rothschild, all authors of the Balfour Letter calling for the creation of a Jewish state are also deeply anti-Semitic. A paradox? Or is it actually as consistent as Nazi Kabbalists spearheading the cause of Zionism? If you find this confusing, then you might want to think a little bit more deeply about the causes of World War II. For instance, would it surprise you to discover that the financial and industrial support that gave rise to fascism itself in the wake of the Versailles Treaty of 1919 and controlled hyperinflation of Weimar Germany in 1923 was more Anglo-American than it was German or Italian? Yes, that's right. Despite being celebrated for having fought against Western Jewish financiers and industrialists, Hitler's rise was entirely made possible by the support given to him by the most powerful American, British, and Swiss banks in the entire world.